Welcome back to Conversations with the Lady Millionaire. I am Danielle Nikki Parker, and today I have an extra special guest. He's an author and a relationship coach. His name is The Wolf.
Hey, Miss Parker.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm excited to be here. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming. So let me tell y'all what we're talking about tonight, right? And I'm going to tell y'all why I got him here. So tonight we're talking about relationships, right? And should you work together, yes or no? So I posted a question on social media the other day, and I said, if your partner owns a business, should the significant other punch a clock for somebody else, or should they work for the partner? I got 85 comments.
Yeah, because I told you even before we even start recording, that's an interesting topic because I don't think that's a conversation that many people even have. Like, and it could create a wedge in a relationship on either dynamic, like whether somebody feel like they excluded or whether they feel like they don't want to. It's like, if you want your partner to support you, but they rather work for somebody else, how would you feel about that? Or vice versa. If they want to work for you, but you don't want them to, it's like, how can they? So yeah, that's an interesting topic. I'm excited to get into it.
Yeah, so those 85 comments, they were like mixed,
all
over the place.
Yeah.
Some people said yes, some people just said no. Some people were talking about like boyfriend and girlfriend, but what I really was speaking about was like husband and wife.
Yeah, for sure.
And I agreed with a lot of the comments. Some of them I disagreed, but I actually brought you here tonight because I wanted to have a conversation with a male that was somebody outside of my husband.
Yeah.
So I want to know your thoughts. So if one spouse has their own business, should the other spouse work for somebody else? Should they go and put all their hard-earned energy into working a 9-to-5 for somebody else, or should they work for you?
All right, so let me ask you this. Am I allowed to speak from both perspectives? Because I feel like it could be contingent upon a relationship, right? So, like, it really comes down to this. I feel like if I use myself, if my woman has a unique skill set that can benefit what I'm doing, I would not want her to do that for somebody else. I would prefer her do that for me because it's like we can build our family up, our generational wealth and all the things of that sort, just keeping the money in house. But if it's one of them things where, she's not qualified to work, and say if you look at it like, sometimes the job be the escape, right? If I spend a lot of time with her and I just want time away from her, it's like, all right, I'd rather you go put your 8 and skate over there. That way, this is our window away from each other. So it really come down to the dynamic of what she could add to the business. I don't want her just working for me to avoid working for somebody else. I would rather her actually be an asset to what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? But, also I would want her to be passionate about it. Because I had a situation. I had my relationship. I was in a relationship last year. My last girlfriend, or whatever the case may be, I do marketing, and then not even just that, I'm an author and all that. So she does marketing as well. Okay. So I'm like, oh damn, this is gonna be dope. We can work together. You know what I'm saying? But what I noticed was she did marketing for a hospital, so like corporate marketing. You know what I mean? She was more passionate about working for them than I felt like she was passionate. For me, it was just like, I'm just helping out my boyfriend. But for them, she was punching the clock. It was like actually like dedicated time. So I did feel away. Yeah. Only because I felt like her skill set could benefit me the way it was benefiting them. But in most cases, it just come down to, like I said, what you looking to gain from that. And my brother had said something to me, and this is the last thing I'm going to say, a while back when I was trying to go into business with one of my, damn, it's not like I got all these relationships. But one of my other girlfriends, she was trying to do the hair thing. And I had history owning a hair salon and selling hair extensions. So when she had said she wanted to do it, I'm like, all right, I already got vendors, I got the money, honey, I'm going to give it to you. And my brother was like, don't do that because then y'all can never separate the business from the personal, in a sense of what happens because once you invest your money into it, and I noticed it, I'm like, if I give her this couple $1,000s, I am going to want to talk about that. And she might just want to be around you as her boyfriend, but you're going to still be bringing up the business. So it's really two different ways. It just depends on, I guess, the dynamic of each individual in the relationship.
Okay, so playing off of that, I hear you speak a lot about, so you're not married because it was your girlfriend. But maybe it's different when you're married.
Yeah.
Like,
I could agree. I
can speak for myself. I've been working with my husband before we were even married. But it was like, when I met him, we both had a job. We both worked at the same job, right? Yeah. But he always taught me other ways to, he taught me how to live. How to do things for myself, how to make money for myself, and not have to, at the jobs, I'm basically learning how to run their business. Not really learning nothing for myself. So I kind of always followed him. Because he led, and he's a great leader. So when you have a great leader, you're going to follow. 100%. So I always did little things. But when he really got into the real estate business, it was like I was working at a job for architectural firm, and I was bidding on jobs, so requests for proposals, and that's kind of some things we do in our industry now. And it was just easy for me to help. I kept my 9 to 5 because I had benefits. I felt like when you're working a 9 to 5, you kind of feel like that's stable money.
Say security,
like tomorrow
stability.
they could tell you bye and don't care, but you kind of feel like. I always felt like I could feed us until you get it popping, but I'm going to help. So if I'm up 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning helping work on what you got going on, then that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, for sure.
So I kind of feel like even though we weren't married at the time when we first started, but that we did have a kid together, so I still have vested interest. Yeah,
you was committed. And again, you said something that was key, having a good leader, so it made you more inclined to follow, and you understood that the information he was giving you, and you knew that you could be an asset to what was going on, so you wanted to add that. So I guess my question would be for you is like, what was you said you agree with a lot of the comments, but what were some of them comments that you agree with? Like, was it more towards people saying they wanted to do it, or more towards people saying they didn't want to do it?
It was kind of like 50-50 with that.
Okay.
So I agree with the part where if your job is like feeding y'all right now, and you got the health benefits and all that kind of stuff. But when you get off at 5 o'clock, you're going extra hard. Just like you was for that firm, going extra hard on his dream. Because his dream is really creating a legacy for us.
Exactly, for the family.
So that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? So I agree with that a lot. And I agree with the side where a lot of people said no, because if we're in we on 2 different planets. Sometimes you're on 2 different planets for real. And if you don't have that conversation, like we had that conversation going into our marriage, like this is what we're going to do. As a team. I didn't know he was going to be bigger than life. He's always been bigger than life, but I didn't know it was going to be like big business. I was going to hit these stages, and I was like, for a second, I was like, okay, wait. I'm not social like that. I don't know how to do this. I could do the behind the scenes work. So behind the scenes work helped us build that great empire. So I was kind of like agreeing with a lot of yeses and nos. And a lot of people also said that, right? If this 9 to 5 is really feeding y'all, but I also understand that if you want to start a business, right? It always starts off as a hobby or a hustle, right? But there are things that you set up in place, like working capital covers payroll. So I can leave my job and still make the same money because we got that working capital. And when it's all going to the same pot for that legacy, it's all or nothing. And
to your point, right? I think that's a key component that I wasn't even thinking about in terms of people, like the women wanting to stay at their job for the stability aspect. I think if it coincides with the bigger picture, that it should be that, right? Because it's like, as a man, as a leader, I wouldn't tell my woman to leave something that could potentially stabilize us both if anything was to go wrong, to come take a risk when I know I'm gambling at this phase. But the moment I find stability, if this is what I require and desire, because I'm a team-oriented person, I would definitely, because for me, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to take it to another, I wouldn't want nobody else dictating my wife's schedule. So it's like, oh, I want to go here with my wife, but I can't go with her because she got to go work with the. No, I'd rather you be on, because now we on the same. We make our own schedule. We on the same clock, so it's like not somebody else controlling the narrative of our relationship. But when you put in the notion of stability, I just think it depends on how stable the business is. I wouldn't expect my woman to leave her stability to come, like I said, gamble with me, because then there's gonna be too much pressure on it. I want to be able to hustle in peace until I know, like, all right, the foundation is set enough. If all else fails, I can handle it. I don't want her coming on here and stressing while I'm stressing. I wanted to come and release me of some stress, because unless, we just in the mud together. You might have somebody who's just as ambitious as you, who ready to gamble, who willing to do all of that. And if you got that type of partner, then all bets is off. Y'all got to turn it up.
And that's the type of partner I am. Like, he say, this is what we going to do, we going for it. We not paying these bills because we going to fix up this house. We were going for
that's
it.
Thorough.
And when he first got into the real estate business, the part I played, he didn't know anything about. He told me where to go, and I had to figure it out. And as I continued to go there, that's when I kind of was like, well, I could do this, because I started making side money. He taught me how to make side money. So guess what? That 9 to 5 that I was going to leave, that side money he taught me how to make was going to replace that 9 to 5 money. So I did that for a couple years, and we learned a whole lot of things, and we built a lot of stuff, but then the market crashed. And when the market crashed, we were still okay for a little while, but then people started losing their jobs, so we weren't getting the rental income. I said, you know what, I'm gonna get a job so we can eat while you figure out what we gonna do next.
But listen, I think it's everything you're saying is key, right? Because what you're talking about in the process of the fluctuations, within your finances and your careers and your marriage, it's like that's what a lot of people need to hear, because a lot of times people fall on them tough times and they lose faith.
Right.
And they lose faith in the process. But you understood, like, all right, I'm going to fit the role for whatever is needed. If it's needed for me to be the partner, I'm going to be the partner. But if I got to go back and get the job while you figure this part out, because that's what a team does.
Right.
It's no, and we off camera, we talk about the whole 50-50 thing briefly. It's no 50-50 is show up as you got to be for us to win as a team. And I feel like if anybody, whether they're on live or if they're watching the podcast, they need to understand that it's like when you all in with somebody, because everything you just said showed, all bets is off, I'm all in, whatever I got to do to play my part, I'm going to do it. It's you destined to win. And if you got a man that's doing what he's supposed to do, that's all we be wanting is a woman that's going to have unwavering faith in us. Yeah. Like, we don't want to feel like every time we run into a loss, we might lose our woman. Right. It's like, no, like you said, all right, we ain't going to pay these bills because we're going to do this, but when we going to win together, we're going to lose together. Yep. That's super dope. That's super dope.
I like when you said there's no 50-50. There's 100-100.
Yeah, that's for sure. It's no, because it's like you just never know. Whatever got to get done, got to get done. It ain't no, you do this, you do that. It's whatever got to get done, let's get it done, and that's how we going to win. But it got to be that we mindset. So going back to your topic, like for me, I desire to have my woman invested into what I'm doing, but I would want her to have her own purpose in it, so she don't feel like she's doing it for me. Because I don't want it to be a struggle. Like, I seen what that looked like in my relationship that I was in last year, and it was like she was doing what she was doing, but when it came to me, I felt like she was doing it for me more than she was doing it because it was something she was passionate about. You know how you say he told you which way to go and you had to figure it out. You found your own purpose. Now you the lady millionaire on your own. Right. Because you found purpose in the business structure that y'all came up with together. That's how y'all win. That's how you do it.
I also had some comments where people said, well, if he had his own, let's say he a lawyer and he got to practice, and I'm a doctor and I got to practice, that's not the same as the 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's not the same.
If that is the case, then I think that you guys should invest together, right? Real estate, stocks, whatever it is to build your legacy.
100%.
But then y'all just do that part together.
Yeah, for sure. Because that goes to what I was saying about you might want to have your 8 and skate. Like, you do that over there, I do this over here. This is our 8 away from each other. But every other moment should be contingent upon doing it together. Even when if you got a firm as a lawyer and they got their own private practice, the money y'all making should still be one entity. It shouldn't be your money, my money.
Correct.
But a lot of people not team oriented. They really... And it's sad to say because it's more so like, how can I save myself if this ship start to sink?
Right.
You gotta have a mindset that is like, the ship not sinking if I got something to do with it. Not, I'm gonna have a little life jacket over here in case this drone fell. I'm cool. It's like, no, like if you ain't got 2 life jackets, you shouldn't have 1. You know what I mean? Or you gonna let your partner get in that life jacket with you and y'all gonna figure it out. Cause that's what, and y'all married. So like you said, it's a way different commitment. But even when I approach relationships, I'm a marriage minded man. Like that's my goal. And I feel like I gotta carry myself the way I wanna end up. I ain't trying to just have a bunch of girlfriends. When I get with my girls, I'm on the same tip. You'll be one entity. You know, whatever I got is for you. Whatever you got is to help me if I need you. I don't need it off the rip, but if I fall, I want you to be there. Not if I fall, you like, oh, well, gave you a shot, you messed up. You on your own.
Well, I think those are conversations that you should have when you're dating.
100%.
What do you want to do with your life?
You talking to me right now?
No, I'm not talking to you right now, but I think that's what kind of conversations you should have when you're dating. 100%. But hey, how about I'm talking to you right now? What is it that you want to do with your life?
I mean, right now, you know, I'm a relationship coach and an author, and I do got a digital network called the Wolf Network where I do produce my own show, The Couch. But my ultimate goal is to just become a world-renowned author. Like, I feel like, you know, my first book is saying right here, Cheating is Not Cheating, or whatever the case may be, and we might unpack that on this discussion. But I just want to be able to, I feel like everybody don't get the opportunity to have this discussion with me one-on-one. But this book could be in a million places at once. So this is my legacy. This is a piece of literature that's going to be around forever. I'm reading a book right now. The author died in like 1960, but his book made it to me now. So his legacy still lives on far beyond his time on earth. So for me, I just want to impact as many people as possible with the amount of time that I got. So how that translates into my career, I'm an author, I'm a relationship coach. I'm just helping people. You know what I mean? I'm just building on that. But as far as when it comes to my family, you know, I want to be married, you know what I'm saying? And I see it being, I want to build a conglomerate with my woman. I want to build something that's outlives both of us, something that, and I want to lead by example for I got 2 daughters, for my daughters to be able to see what that look like. Even when I'm dating, I make sure I date in a way that if they had to understand an example of how a man should treat a woman, I make sure that I'm trying to display that the right way. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But I'm just moving in the direction, like I said, how I want to be and where I want to end up. But what was I finna say? It was about, it'll come back to me, but it was something I was going to say, I was going to mention based on what you just said, but I lost it. but it'll come back.
It'll come back.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. What was the purpose behind you
Writing
writing
the book.
this? Cheating is not cheating.
So, all right, I just became a relationship coach last year.
Okay.
But before becoming a relationship coach, I always was the go-to guy for people in marriages, divorces. And I'm not even gonna lie, I never even understood why, because I myself have never been married. But I realized I'm not a marriage coach. I'm a relationship coach.
Okay.
Marriage is relationships. It's just at a higher level. Everything starts with individuals. So your relationship first starts with yourself.
Right.
So me being a relationship coach is just, helping people become better individuals so they can be better. With this is compiled of all of the information that I found myself repeating over and over again. And because I can't be in 100 places at once, a million places at once, I needed something to be able to have a discussion for me. As for the title, a lot of people see cheating is not cheating, and they think that I'm saying it's okay to cheat. It's not one page in my book that justifies cheating, like at all. Cheating is not cheating because there's no universal definition, meaning, or law to identify and say this is cheating. It's subjective and perspective based, meaning you and your husband got your boundaries for your relationship. Me and my woman gonna have our boundaries for our relationship, and everybody that's watching gonna have their boundaries. I can't come and tell you what cheating is for your relationship. Absolutely. So to say cheating is to say we all agree. We don't, but it encourages communication. So because you see the title, how many times have you even sat with somebody and said, well, what do you consider cheating? Most people just get ridiculed after they committed whatever the act was.
Right.
But one man might not be okay with his girl having friends of the opposite sex. One girl might not be okay with her man liking pictures on IG. This is minor stuff to somebody that's mature. To somebody else, they might be heartbroken.
Right.
If you never had that conversation and you sitting here liking pictures and you getting in trouble for it, you like, well, I never knew you thought that was cheating. So I just encourage the conversation. But I talk a lot about forgiveness, pride, ego, double standards. It's way deeper than the title itself. Definitely.
I'm definitely going to read this tonight.
Please.
Thank you.
And listen, when you read it, you got the green light to tell me exactly how you feel. Okay. I don't want the nice version. I want to know if it helped you, if you felt like I was talking to some. I really want to know your perspective. And I guarantee you give it to Greg after this.
Yeah,
I guarantee you. Because y'all don't know, when we first got in here, she said, you better not read this.
Yeah, I said, you better not read that.
Yeah, so and I promise you after you read it, you're going to be like, you know what? That little nigga on to something. He gonna do, I don't know if you say that N-word, but that little guy, that man on to something.
I mean, I definitely agree with you when you said it's based on perspective and maturity.
Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I'm definitely going to read that.
Please and thank you. But it was something I wanted to say to the people, and it for the life of me, it was so important in regards to relationships. It was something you said I wanted to piggyback off of, but I know it's going to come back to me, but it'll come back to me when it's supposed to. But all in all, I just want to give you your flowers or whatever the case may be for all of the things that you are doing, even stepping into this space and putting yourself more out there, because we know that you're the lady behind the business, and people that don't pay for the classes, courses, and the mentorships don't even know the perspective. So when you get to put yourself in these spaces, they get to see how intelligent you are, and we learn from examples. The women need to see the women that made the sacrifice. Yeah. If you would have left a long time ago, this wouldn't be here. Right. So I feel like our culture is pushing leave that nigga alone. But everything you saying is like, nah, stay, figure it out. We're gonna figure it out together. Right. And then they'll try to deflect. No, but G is a good leader. Yeah, but the belief of her empowers his leadership. Right. I'm a man. I'm a leader. But when you feel like your woman got your back, you feel like you're Superman. Yeah. I'm telling you. So I just want to give you your flowers for that. And, we sitting in y'all luxurious, beautifully designed home. And, this is a motivation for me because it shows me it's real. It's tangible. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to give you your flowers for that.
For a long time, I wouldn't, come out and speak. I always taught, real estate. I know you can ask me any question. I get up on that stage in front of hundreds of people. I was going to say millions. So I'm speaking at millions of people, right? And just go with it. But whenever somebody would ask me to come and speak, and I'm like, I always felt like I didn't really have a story, but I do. And it wasn't really shit. It wasn't really until the end of last year when I said, you know what, I do. Yeah. Even though I felt like I didn't have a lot of trauma. When I was growing up, I did a lot. I had a son when I was young. I did that to myself. I knew better. Yeah. So I felt like I ain't really got nothing to say, but I do. Because I went through a lot of things. And as a woman, when I moved to, not to go too far into this. When I moved to Florida in 2012, I kind of was by myself for 3 years. Yeah. Greg would come back and forth because he still was doing things up north. Yeah. But I really got time to spend time with myself. And it was you're letting this guy do this and that, and as a female, we always kind of keep going back or whatever. Yeah. But it's you. What are you doing? Yeah. I needed to look at myself and say, why am I sticking around? Why? But because I knew that it was a greater purpose for us, and everybody is not ready to settle down at the same time. Yes. So I felt like, you know what, while he getting himself together, let me get myself together, because when he come correct, I need to be correct.
Yeah, and yo, I'm so glad you just said that, right? Because you said something that, let's talk about you talking about your story. Life, we talked about my book being based on perspective. Mm-hmm. All right, we could see Big Business, and we could see his perspective on his Instagram. It's women out here who are in your position, who may be losing faith, who may not have the guidance, or you have the testimony because you got it's like no different than a proven rehab strategy or a proven real estate strategy. You have a proven strategy that if you have faith and do the work while you wait, you will get the desired outcome. So that testimony in itself can save thousands of relationships. You don't know how many women out here will give up at the first sign of, how many men will run off. So many people, but just y'all two alone sticking it out through the good and the bad, you allow him to mature to where you was at, grow to where you was at. You got the prize. You got what you wanted, but he got the prize too, because he know for certain at this point that he with the person he's supposed to be with. If you move in it too fast, you don't never want to come into a situation that has skeptics. So giving yourself time to figure that out, learn yourself, let him learn himself. Now this is the union y'all got. So the story and the testimony is that alone. So that's powerful. And so many women gonna benefit from this conversation, just hearing you say that, because I'm telling you, I'm a relationship coach. That's why I'm so adamant about what I'm saying. I hear it. I'm coaching them through these situations or whatever the case may be, and realizing how easy it is for them to run away from responsibility, run away from hardship. And when you got the testimony where I can refer like, nah, Nikki Parker, being young Nikki Parker, she stuck it out and look what she got. So now you become a walking truth of what people feel like is possible. But I remember what I was going to say. It was something about the book. I lost it again. But I was going to say, even down to just marriages and, you know, and relationship. Oh, communication and understanding. A lot of times, you know, I always tell people say, oh, communication is key. Communication is key. Yeah, communication is key, but understanding is the door. Yeah. And in order for the communication to be effective, the person you're communicating to have to understand. If there's no understanding, then the communication is nullified and void. If somebody come up here and tell you something in Spanish and you don't speak Spanish, what did they really just say? Right. So
they communicated with you, but you don't know what they said.
So we all want to be understood, but nobody want to be understanding. Everybody want to be heard, but nobody want to listen. Right. So I'm encouraging people with this, because you see it says God understanding the man's nature, but really it's human nature. It's about being open-minded. It's not for men to come in here and try to hold on to their perspective about women. It's not for women to come in here and try to hold on to their perspective about men. It's about dropping what you think you know, unlearning and relearning something new, so you can because my goal is not to be right. My goal is to understand and be understood. Right. You might not, like, I might say something here, you might be like, he tripping. That's your perspective. You're entitled to it. But it still ain't going to change the fact that what I'm saying, you still have to hear what's being said. And I think for people in relationships, you just got to go into a situation and look to understand the person you with. If they want you to work for their business, understand why. Don't just shut it down. I'm not coming to work for you. What about my benefits? If they don't want you to work for their business, oh, you don't want me a part of your business, you want to do it by yourself. Understand where they're coming from, and then even agree to disagree or find a healthy resolution. So, you know, that's my goal in the world, to try to convince people to communicate and understand. I'm a communication specialist. Everything I study is about mindset, the psychology of women, men, how we think, how we operate, and where our thoughts are derived from. I study trauma, and I'm a black boy from the hood who had odds stacked against him. That I didn't write a hood novel. I wrote a self-help book that's about the way we think and mindset. That's not really common for where we come from. So I'm just trying to be that example for that young boy that's watching that might be a rapper. I used to rap. All right, cool. One of my old heads said, I ain't trying to go too far into it, but I'm just saying the last thing. One of my old heads said, when I was 20, in 2014, he said to me, he was like, nah, you rap, but you're not just a rapper. He said, you're a writer. You can write books, you can write poems, you can write scripts. And all I needed was somebody to enhance my mindset to the depths of which I can write. So all right, rap took me as far as it did. Now I wrote this book, and my second book is done. So by the time this come out, the second book should be out, or if not, it's on the way.
I'm glad you said that. Enhance your mindset. Yeah. That's why it's extremely important that I speak out.
Yes, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, just to be surprised that, and women be looking for women to talk, because they in your shoes. Yeah. They might want to hear G say the real estate and, you know, but when it comes to the emotions behind what you had to go through and how you stuck it out, and we can't talk about that. We don't know what y'all feel. So it takes for y'all to step up and be like, yo, listen, like, it's going to be some days where you want to quit. It's going to be some days where you want to say F him. It's going to be, but you got to, you know, so your story is one of the ones.
I believe you got to seek God. You got to be in your relationship first and foremost. And y'all got to do it together.
Yes, 100%.
It's like you said, communication is key. And That's it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I can't wait to see what people perspective is on this topic, even the other people that's coming on. And I just feel like this is a necessary conversation. Because I would love, my future wife might be watching this, I would love to build something with my wife if it's possible. I would love her to have purpose in my purpose. Because then I don't really need to be, I feel like I'm busy enough to be away from her anyway. But I would want her involved because like what better way to do it than with somebody that got your back. With somebody that actually got your back. And then you won't have to feel excluded.
Exactly.
You won't have insiders with somebody else about the business. It's like, nah, I want to talk. I want to let my girl, let my wife know what was going on. We laughing at this stuff together.
Yep, exactly. So, thanks for coming.
Yeah, and I appreciate you having me. I'm going to just tell y'all can find Cheating is Not Cheating on Amazon, on my website, thewolfhasspoken.com. I got another book coming out in early April. So it'll either be out right now or if it's not April yet, then it's still coming. But y'all can follow me on Instagram at WolfWSC. I appreciate the platform. I appreciate you even considering me to be able to be on here. And y'all know my tag, The Wolf Has Spoken. Let's get it.